Croeso Sianel Blaid Llwyd. And after slightly too long of a break, I didn't plan it to be this much, we are back with NeveN again. And if you haven't already noticed, this is still being recorded in the middle of allergy season, so if I sound a bit off, that's why. Hopefully we're almost at the end now. It is mid-July, and by this point I'm normally getting out of it, so I'll see what happens, and hopefully I'll be okay for this weekend, next weekend's recordings. But that's all I really wanted to bring in. Apologise for anything odd in the audios here. So let's get back to the story. Once outside, I can see the preparations of the party have been minimal, to say the least. There are just 3 tables stuck together to form a semblance of a stage, and a bunch of barrels of alcohol in the corner of the courtyard. What I find much more interesting is the 20 or so people already there. My direct competitors. They're the bards who came here to win the prize. There are dozens of species here, from all over the kingdom, all joking and laughing with each other. I can even see an orca and a shark emptying the barrel together. There are felines, canines, rodents. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot the hyena who warned us yesterday, chatting with what I assume to be other members of his troop, a badger and a labrador. The mood is as light as can be. Tonight we forget about the competition. We forget that we're opponents. We're just here to drink, laugh and sing. And that's the environment I feel most comfortable in. I turn to Erik, who gives me a puzzled look. Is there a problem? He scratches the back of his head, searching for his words. I thought the party was in the courtyard. It is. But there's nothing. No buffet, no sand for the dancers, just empty tables. I think you and I have 2 very different ideas what a party is. Right alongside the confused look on his face, while starting to push him in the direction of the barrels. This is not a party for nobles here. We're not here to applaud someone who's performing. We're here to have fun first and foremost, to have a good time while we still can. So do me a favour, will you? Have a drink and enjoy yourself. If you want to sing, sing. And if you want to dance, dance. If you want someone in your bed, let me know and I'll be your wingman. I have the pleasure of seeing Erik blush again. It's so easy, it almost spoils the fun. Almost. Oh, I think... He stammers for a moment before closing his eyes and taking a deep breath. I'm impressed. He manages to calm himself without any help. Looks like our little bird is leaving the nest, finally. I'll try to have fun your way. Well, not completely, but thanks for the offer. I don't think I'll do that last thing. Besides, I don't think many people really want to share a relationship with me. I've never been very popular. What, a beautiful bird like you? I'm sure half the females here just dying to pounce on you. Erik blushes even more and looks around, almost as if he's about to be jumped on by a group of damsels in heat. As well as a good chunk of the males too, if that's more your thing. The falcon puts his talons on his face to cover it, and I can hear a whimpering sound of embarrassment coming from his beak. Well, Erik, you've had your fun. If you keep it up, you'll end up raking him. Fortunately for Erik, a distraction soon arrives in the form of an almost naked lizard, holding a full cup in each paw. I quickly grab the one offered to me while Tenok stuffs the other one into Erik's fingers, and the bird almost jumps in surprise. Tenok? Hey boys, I saw you 2 stand in the corner without any drink. I just had to remedy that situation. And thank you for that. I was trying to help Erik relax, and I'm sure this will help. Was this really your way of trying to relax me? Okay, maybe I was having fun too. A little bit. But I'm serious. Let yourself go and have fun. That's what we're here for. Tenok brings his tail back in front of him. I can see the end of it is wrapped around a 3rd cup that he's taken between his fingers. I didn't know it was prehensile. I wonder what else he can do. No, Erik. Let's focus. This is not the time. I can only agree. Let's drink to parties and having fun. He raises his glass. I join him and am pleased to see Erik do the same on his side. In unison we take a sip to quench our thirst. However, as soon as the liquid touches my tongue, I realise that something is not right. Whatever is in my cup, it is clearly not beer. What I'm drinking is much sweeter and spicier, and absolutely delicious. Gulping it down as quickly as I usually do with my spirits would almost seem like an insult here. I mean, Aket's gaze, and he's just as surprised as I am. That's reassuring. He's not the only one who finds it strange. He turns abruptly to Tenok, waving the cup in front of him. Where did you get that nadi? That what? A personal stash, and I see someone who's able to appreciate it its true value. I've got a barrel of it hidden near the bathhouse entrance if you want a refill, but don't tell anyone. An entire barrel? A single bottle cost a fortune. How could you get a whole barrel? Do I have to remind you who I am, little birdie? Aked opens his beak as if to answer, but finally falling silent. What's going on here? I feel like I'm missing some vital information. Wait, both of you, I want to be included in this conversation. I need to understand. Explanations? Now. The two males turned to me with a surprised look on their faces. Did they forget I was there? I'm going to start getting really irritated. Oh, sorry, Erik, it's just... Well, Tenok just gave us some nadi. And what's a nadi? It's the best wine in Mekad. The only one whose production doesn't involve slave. It is worth a lot of money. Yeah, you're exaggerating a bit. I'd have to sell my loot to be able to buy a single bottle. What? And you have a whole barrel of it? Once again, you all seem to forget who I am. Ambassador Kazal, remember? The Emperor wouldn't let me come here without any resources. And the Emperor gave you money to buy alcohol. Tenok seems to hesitate briefly before looking away. Maybe I didn't tell him about this particular purchase. Well. Looks like the ambassador is hiding things from his country. In the end, everyone has their little secrets. Well, let me guess. This purchase was absolutely mandatory for your duties and absolutely not for trying to impress at parties. Yeah, have you know that I don't need this to impress anyone. It's just a little help. Offering alcohol to people is one of the most powerful tools of diplomacy. It's known. I'm pretty sure a bottle would have been enough for that. So, all of a sudden, when it's to make fun of me, this one knows how to speak. The power of alcohol, I guess. Aked gives Tenok an amused look while I stand there, dumbfounded to see him respond to the lizard with such panache. If it's really big he's been drinking, I'll have to offer him wine more often. Seeing him grow in confidence like that is a sight I can enjoy. Anyway, if your goal is to impress me, know that it doesn't work. Throwing money at me is not the way to get into my pants. I'm worth more than money can buy. I'd even dare to say you're overpriced. But anyway, I really found two lovely ladies ready to explore the mysteries of Kazal tonight. I'm afraid our little game of cat and mouse will have to wait. Ladies? I didn't expect Tenok to play on both sides. Well, I guess he's the kind of guy who likes to explore every possibility. However, where I can ponder that idea, a soft, crystal-clear voice echoes through the courtyard. Good evening. May I require your attention for a brief moment? On the stage now stands a poodle, dressed in a beautiful gown and jewellery probably worth a good fortune. What's this all about? She's clearly a noble. Besides, she looks quite familiar. I'm absolutely certain I've seen her somewhere before. First of all, I wanted to say that I appreciate your enthusiasm. I don't doubt for a second that we have the best our country has to offer in this courtyard. However, I am afraid I must ask you to kindly withdraw from the contest organised by our leaders, in the interest of the kingdom. What? What did she just say? I'm not the only one who's confused. Whispers and yells of indignation are heard in the crowd. Finally, the poodle raises her paws to ask for calm. Quiet, please. Again, this is in no way an insult to your talents. As I told you, this is purely for the sake of our wonderful nation. You know what people think of our kingdom. Outside of our borders, we are seen as savages and barbarians. Having a drunkard party go as a representative of our arts could only reinforce this opinion of us. I ask you to let someone of higher pedigree take that mantle. Who the fuck does she think she is? I feel the rage boiling inside of me. I almost want to get up on stage and slap this idiot. No, she does more than thinking. She is a noble, and she's not entirely wrong. Excuse me? I thought I heard you agree with her, but I must be wrong, because that is a ridiculous idea. I don't like the way she puts it, but she's right about one thing. Your reputation abroad is not exactly positive, to put it mildly. I'm sure it's not that bad, right, Hackett? I turn to the Falcon, hoping for support from him, but all I get is a sorry look. I'm afraid it is, unfortunately. You are often made fun of, Erik. This is strangely disturbing. I knew they were often considered more barbaric than our neighbours, but I didn't think we were so badly regarded. However, that doesn't justify her behaviour. Whatever she believes, she has no reason to talk to us like that. I am simply asking you to step down. I am entering the competition myself, and I will win. I am currently offering you an opportunity to leave without having to experience the humiliation of defeat. Yeah, that's a good one. You're just hoping to get rid of the competition without having to fight for it, aren't you? You'll have to do better than that. The poodle turns to the person who spoke and offers a condescending smirk, almost like an adult would smile at a child who asks a silly question. For my part, I'm waiting to see what happens. Something's not right and I don't like it. She was clearly expecting that kind of remark. I guess that is the impression I could leave. Perhaps actions will speak louder than words. Would a demonstration satisfy you? Without waiting for an answer, she raises her left arm, and a soft bluish light shines through her dress. She just activated her brand. She exhales deeply and steam escapes from her lips, while around her snowflakes slowly appear and a couple of shards of ice form in the air. Brand of Fury. I guess she uses it to put on a show while she sings. I've seen it used that way a few times. Nothing too impressive. The ice forms an arch over her head and sparkles slightly when a light source shines upon it. As if we were suddenly thrown into a cave full of gems. And finally, the poodle begins to sing. From the first note I understand she wasn't kidding. Damn, she's really, really good. And she didn't pick the simplest song either. It's a religious chant with no lyrics, one most complex in this kind of repertoire, and she's mastered it perfectly. The goal is to convey an emotion that can reach the whole world, whether you speak a language or not, so this song relies entirely on the singer's technique. She managed to vary the bass and treble with surprising virtuosity, without it ever sounding false. It's impossible to find the slightest fault with her performance. On top of that, she managed to do it all while controlling her brand. The song progresses, I feel anger rush through me. You can sing this one thing you can win. What was that garbage speech? Just show your talent, prove to others you're better than them and win that way, not by telling them to go away and give it all up. Respect your colleagues. As if to rub it in, the song just finishes on a note so high that causes the ice all around it to vibrate, eventually causing it to shatter into a shower of droplets. If I weren't so furious, the show would probably be stunning. But absolute silence follows the performance. Good, I think I can leave you now. Think about what I've just told you, enjoy your little party. Without waiting for a response, she elegantly steps off the stage, where I feel like I can hear my teeth cracking into the force with which I clench my jaws. There's absolutely no way I'm letting her get away with this. Hackett, on stage, now. What? Now. I don't give the bird time to answer me, just move as quickly as I can towards the table serving as a stage. That bitch thinks I'm going to let her go like that, she's in for a big surprise. I jump on the tables, and once I'm up, I slip 2 fingers between my lips, that is as high-pitched and sonorous a whistle as I can. I, too, know how to attract attention. Excuse me, missus. I feel all eyes swivel toward me, but right now the only one I'm interested in is hers. I'm satisfied to see her turn around and give me a surprised look. What I didn't expect was to see it immediately replaced by a deep, intense hatred. Obviously, if I can't figure out where I know her from, she does remember me. No way to know why, but for now that's not my problem. I have to put her in her place first, and it starts with a clap, slow and steady. Congratulations! I have to say, really, this has to be one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. Absolutely perfect, not the slightest flaw. Well, maybe one, a tiny, mini, little detail. It also has to be one of the most boring songs I've ever heard. It's all very nice, but we're at a party. We're not here to listen to a religious choir. We're here to dance, drink and have fun. In short, we're here to pay tribute to life itself. So, next time, try to choose a song that's appropriate for the situation. But surely, as you said yourself, actions speak louder than words. Would a demonstration satisfy you? Out of the corner of my eye, I see that Aked has joined me on stage, and I thank the gods for that. I then turn to a group of musicians, not far away, who should have been first to play on stage for all this drama. We're going to need help with the music. Do you mind? Just follow the beat of my musician and make sure everyone has a blast. That seems to snap down at the torpor the Poodle's performance has put them in, and they nod their heads for joining us on stage. I then turn to Aked. A small change of plan. We're going to show her to have fun. Remember that pirate song we worked on? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Don't worry, Birdie. It's going to be okay. Let's shake this castle. I then turned back to the crowd, my best smile displayed on my face. Now, it's time to do what I do best. You know, you get you a lot of sea shanties in the coastal taverns. These folks rarely put their paws on land, and when they do, it's to party like their lives depend on it. Oh, believe me, it's glorious to behold. So, why not borrow one of their songs? Dear friends, let me sing you the story of Gregor. Did I choose a vulgar song on purpose? Absolutely. Is it just to make fun of that noble cunt? Obviously. With a sigh, Aked begins to play, quickly joined by the other musicians, and I mentally thank him for not hesitating any longer. I'll tell you the tale of a man who would sail across seas in search of a quest. His name was Gregor, he had much fervour, wasn't clever, was he the best. Prepared for the trip, Gregor met a large ship, he entered without his faithful crew. He wanted glory, a nice little story, but found an orgy and yelled, "They screw!" Oh, matey, there's no lady, when his fortune strikes we drink to the health of Gregor and lucky who found no money, or into the sea now to his wealth. While fleeing the ship he lost all his shit, his pants slid to the ground in this race. With no delay Gregor went away, dismay displayed on his face. Land in the distance, Gregor saw his existence as a king and emperor of his own poems. Free like animals without manacles, he met cannibals praying to totems. Oh, matey, they felt pretty killy. When fortune strikes we drink to the health of Gregor the unlucky who could end up bloody. It's not very funky now to his wealth. His end was near, but Gregor turned his rear. His underwear loose, he suddenly stopped. The poor captain had nothing to bargain, but now hearken, out came his cock. Their tribe was in awe, such was their law, the pillar of flesh was standing strong. Their sacred idol, the one of their riddle, they weren't homicidal in front of the schlong. Oh, matey, now that was lucky. When fortune strikes we drink to the health of Gregor the big dick to stop the conflict, or with his prick now to his wealth. I have the immense pleasure of seeing the crowd in front of me become more and more animated as I go through this song, which only motivates me to give more energy to each of my words. I dance between verses and spin around on the stage to encourage the audience to follow me, as I merrily hop towards the musicians to playfully circle them. And that's when I realised that's also why I hated this Poodle's singing. It is technically perfect, far more than I will ever be able to do. It lacks life, joy, movement. It lacks everything that makes me so thrilled to be on stage. I finish the song by bowing to the crowd and hear applause and shouts of joy. Seems like the party's come alive again. I raise my muzzle to give the songstress an amused look. I truly hope this song was not too barbaric and vulgar for your taste, lady. After all, I'm just a drunkard partygoer. I give her one last wry smirk. She continues to glare at me. Well, I'm absolutely certain I've seen that exact expression now, but I don't see where I could have... Oh, no. Shit. Erik, is everything alright? People seem to have liked the song. It's not the problem. The Poodle, I felt like I knew her and it just came back to me. She's the former fiancée of the Count of Celt. And why is that a problem? The last time we saw each other, she caught me in bed with someone. It's embarrassing, but I don't see... Oh, with the Count. Before they went their separate ways. Excuse me? I didn't know it was him. I've been drinking a lot and... I know that's no excuse. I don't interfere with couples. That's a personal rule. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I guess that explains the look she gave you. I jump down the stage, followed by Aked. Another band takes our place, and the music starts up again. The party now truly underway. I never really talked to her. That was the only time I saw her, and the mood wasn't exactly there, as you can imagine. Maybe I should apologise for that? I don't think she wants an apology, especially now. Yeah, I guess you're right. I let out a long sigh. I'd planned to have fun, but I have to admit that this reunion is damping my mood a bit. I'm going to refill my cup. Do you want... Aked then lowers his voice, as if he were whispering a terrible secret to me. Some nutty? I gave him an amused smile. Looks like he's found something he enjoys drinking. Not now. Maybe later, but don't hold back for me. Okay. He grins cheerfully before giving me a brief worried look. Whereas then his drink is just an excuse to give me some time alone and settle down. Bird brain. You can just tell me this stuff, no need to make up excuses. The problem is, as I watch him go, I don't want to be alone. I want to be distracted. I want company. I should join someone. So let's look for the bear. I catch a glimpse of a shadow perched above our little impromptu party, and as I squint my eyes, Prince Maelbjorn's silhouette finally emerges from the darkness. He's busy keeping a discreet eye on the festivities, sweeping his gaze across the courtyard as if to observe each person present. He looks thoughtful and does not sport his usual smile. When his gaze lands on me, I smile at him and approach the balcony as he greets me with a nod, resuming his warm look. I wonder if this is just a facade. Wouldn't be surprising coming from a prince. I didn't know we'd have special guests at this lovely little party. It's an honour to be able to entertain you, Prince Maelbjorn. The bear chuckles as he leans in to get a better look at me. A guest in my own castle. This is a first. Well, I must confess I'm not used to this kind of mischief. It is refreshing. Oh, it sure is refreshing. Very literally, in fact. I grab a mug of beer and raise in the direction of the prince to emphasise my joke while my smile grows wider. Oh, is this whole party just a binge? Well, I thought you guys were serious and would do anything to win. We are, and we would, but... Wait, far be it from me to order you to do anything. I feel like when those romantic minstrels sing to a fair maiden on the balcony. You wouldn't want to come down, would you? I'll be right down. But that's the last time you compare me to a fair maiden. I don't know if I should take this threat in jest, and the bear seems to have malicious pleasure in leaving doubt. He quickly moves away from the balcony, and while waiting for him I take the opportunity to fill another mug for him. When he finally arrives, still clad in his armour, I hand him his drink with a wink, and he accepts it with a polite smile. I then settle down against a haystack and he sits down beside me. So, have you seen anything that interests you? I hope we're not too loud, by the way. I know for a fact that we are, but Maelbjorn doesn't seem to be too annoyed by a little party. Oh, you are loud. It's going to piss off the few uptight people we're housing. I'm not opposed to a little more rowdy festivities than usual. Oh, your manners, my prince. I could swear I was listening to a barfly. I thought I was dealing with the heir of the nation. You wouldn't dare say that the actual heir of the nation, would you? The bear gives me an amused look for holding out his mug in my direction. How about a toast? I can't decently wish you a victory. I have to keep a certain neutrality after all. But I can wish you lots of inspiration and luck. I'll take any wish you give me, although I doubt luck will be the deciding factor. But the talent, I have it, don't worry about that. We laugh in concert as we clink our mugs together while taking a sip of beer. The drink is sweet with a slight fizz. It has a honeyed aftertaste. Oh, delicious. When my mind breaks from this pleasant sensation, I catch a glimpse of the bear watching me with a small smile on his lips. You know, ever since I got here, I can't help but wonder, why me? I'm obviously honoured by the attention you're giving me, but I don't understand it. That's a problem with a lot of people. We hardly see our own worth. I let out a small laugh, thinking it's just another joke. The prince looks me straight in the eye. I blush at what seems to be a compliment and look away. This is not the time to lose control. Not in front of him, Erik. If you want a more direct answer, I think we can help each other. You have potential, and I need help with some issues. Oh, and what kind of issues? For a moment I remember Vekad's warning. He told me that Frostfang is a snake pit after all. It looks like I'm about to fall into it. Oh no, you don't need to know anything more. Just focus on the competition. We can talk about it until then. Hey, you can't tell me that and expect me to act like nothing happened. Besides, how am I supposed to know if I win the competition fair and square now? The prince looks surprised, then questions me with his eyes as if I was suddenly struck by madness. And if I were to influence your victory, would you really see that as a problem? Or it's just a turning point in my life. Absolutely nothing important, right? Seeing a few looks turn my way, I realised that I may have gotten a little carried away. I swallow my pride and lower my voice without calming down. You won't move a claw to make me win. Not a single one. I only want your vote if you think Akhet and I are good at what we do. And if you don't respect that and you make me win, I swear I'll wait for the day you welcome, I don't know, the Emperor of Khazal or the King of Mekad, to sing as off-key as possible and pierce their eardrums like no one ever did. They will still be talking about it centuries later. For a moment the bear is stunned, then he chuckles before taking another sip of beer. Well, I have to admit, I'd really like to see that. You're just encouraging me to vote for you at this point. I try to be as threatening as possible despite my cute bunny face. I don't really feel like it's having any effect, but at least it relaxes me. And finally the prince nods slowly. Okay. I admire your position and the courage it takes to tell me this so frankly. I'll respect your request. This only confirms I was right about you. You hardly know me. How could you have seen anything special in me? Oh, I'm not saying you're a gem. I'm just saying out of all the candidates capable of winning this competition, you're the one with the least amount of flaws. The weasel mixes his arrogance with a loose tongue, while the cantatrice is from a noble family. She doesn't have the neutrality I'm looking for. Okay, so we just picked me because I was the least problematic. Got it. My self-esteem takes another hit. I can understand that. But in the future, and with all due respect, my prince, don't involve me in your political manoeuvres without telling me first. Understood. You have the authorization to call me by my first name, by the way. I am tired by these, my prince. It's getting repetitive. I can't help but be even more astonished, and I grimace as I watch him. But that's what you are. We're not that different, you know. Well, I don't come from a noble family. The kings took power by force, and I'm their heir because, well, let's be honest, it's not like they can give birth. Not very noble when you say it like that, right? So I repeat, do not call me prince when we talk alone. Just Maelbjorn. Okay, Maelbjorn. I'm having a little trouble talking to him like this. It might take a few discussions where I get used to it. But I have to admit, it's a lot nicer to feel on equal pouring. You know, seeing you walking around in armour doesn't help me forget that you're the prince. And it probably isn't very practical to carry it around all the time either. Well, I'm still the crown prince, whether you call me prince or not. Do you know how many people have tried to assassinate me already? Maybe that's why you're here too. So the armour is a necessity. For a moment I imagine waking up every day with the thought of being murdered by a complete stranger. I don't know if I should find that terrifying or sad. The bear has obviously made it his daily routine. I end up putting on a joking face so I don't show the sorrow I feel for him, and pretend to reach under my clothes like I'm about to pull out a concealed weapon. Oh no, I've been found out. En garde! The prince bursts out laughing and pretends to grab his axe to play along. Well, I strongly advise you not to make this kind of joke next to Gilliand. He could take it very badly. Well, it's truly surprising not to see the panther come in with a reproachful look. He's probably more concerned with watching the surroundings than the party itself. I doubt the prince would be walking around without a bodyguard if Gilliand knew he was there. As I look around, I see a polar bear having fun arm wrestling with a wolf. He clearly has no trouble winning, but he takes his sweet time taunting his opponent. A certain smile comes over my face and I turn to Maelbjorn. You know, I think I found a way for you to make up for implying I couldn't win on my own. Well, I never. Tss. I don't want to hear more. You see the bear over there, You see him? I want you to beat him in arm wrestling. If you win, not only will you be forgiven, but you'll have the great honour of dancing with me. I give him the most radiant smile I can muster. He doesn't seem as playful as I am. I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm still a prince, and you're afraid of losing? Oh, I can perfectly understand that. It looks pretty tough, I must say. Are you really trying to exploit my pride to get me to wrestle him? I can beat him easily if I want to. It's just that with my position, I can't afford to do it. Okay. You know, Warrior Who Didn't Fight would make a really nice title for my next song. Okay, I'll do it. But it better be a damn good dance. I note with satisfaction that Maelbjorn is heading towards the table where this little unofficial tournament is taking place, and I follow him closely. The polar bear is really muscular, and the closer we get, the more obvious it is that he's not a bard. He's probably one of the workers from a band, a porter or something like that. The prince plants himself in front of the table and everyone moves aside to let him sit. All eyes are on him as they can't believe what they're seeing, including the polar bear. What? I'm allowed to have fun too? The worker gulps and puts his elbow on the table, while Maelbjorn does the same in front of him, watching his opponent with a confident look. The prince is smaller and less muscular than the huge beast facing him, yet he doesn't wimp out. You better give it all you got. I don't want you to spare me because I'm your prince, understand? I'll know if you'll let me win. The white bear nods briskly, obviously too afraid to go against Maelbjorn's instructions. I can see why he's so understanding of my situation. With his rank, he's sure that no one would dare oppose his victories in life. He knows how it feels when you have something without earning it. Before the wrestle begins, he gives me a playful look and winks at me before he squeezes his opponent's paw. I turn his smile a little shyly, embarrassed that the prince's attention to me is so obvious to everyone. Fortunately, both opponents begin to push with all their might, and the wood creaks under their elbows. Gradually, the general incomprehension is replaced by shouts of encouragement to one or the other, the opponents, as well as by laughter at this entertainment. Let's go, my prince. Show him who is the bear. I doubt Maelbjorn can hear me given the ruckus around us. His concentration is battle of brute strength. Slowly, I see his forearm bend under the force of his opponent. He takes this opportunity to tilt his wrist so his paw wraps around his opponent and twists his arm slightly. And from that moment on, the prince manages to regain the upper paw and pushes the polar bear back. It was obvious that brute force would not be enough, and he made up for the physical gap with surprising technical excellence. Finally, the worker falls in front of the prince and grunts in embarrassment. Maelbjorn stands up and raises his arms in the air, a look of pride filling his face as he sneers. Ha ha! Whose turn is it now? It didn't take very long for the prince to loosen up a bit. As soon as I joined him, he turned to me with his big, victorious smile. Did you see that? You owe me a dance, by the way. Looks like it, yes. Very impressive win. I thought you were going to lose, my prince. Seeing Maelbjorn's disapproving look, I resumed with a long sigh. I thought you were going to lose, Maelbjorn. I'm certainly not going to complain about the result. To be perfectly honest, I'm even glad he won. He's already brimming with confidence, and I wouldn't want him to think I'm easy to win over. But deep down, I really want to dance with him, not only because it's in my best interest. So I extend my paw towards him. He takes it with surprising delicacy the contrast with the show of strength he just made in front of me. Without waiting, I lead him to the dance floor where several people are already having fun. Do you know how to dance? Absolutely not. Well, I was hoping to learn. It's very simple, you'll see. Just let the music carry you along. Well, it's a little more complicated than that, but it's not like I have time to teach him how to dance. So I get in front of him, then I shift slightly to the left while tucking my right arm under his. Then I start hopping around on the spot. Come on, let's spin. The big bear widens his eyes and begins to spin with me. It's not the most noble dance ever, but that's the fun of it. Besides, anyone can dance like this. And we change direction. I detach my arm from the bear's and face him to pass my left arm under his, turning in the other direction while laughing at length. Maelbjorn joins me and dances awkwardly, his armour not exactly helping him stay graceful. You're not doing too badly. I'm not sure that... Oh! Carried away by the dance as well as the weight of his armour, Maelbjorn falls backwards and pulls me along with him since my arm is locked under his. He manages just about to steer his way and wallows against a haystack. I find myself beside him, dizzy from the fall. Oh, shit. Did I screw up? I look up to catch the bear's eyes. He obviously had the same idea. We watch each other for a second, then are caught in a burst of laughter. That's what I call a dance. We make a good pair of idiots. I laugh so hard my ribs hurt. Eventually I found myself having to rest against the prince's shoulder so I don't fall to the ground. If I'd known that one mug would be enough to put me in such a state, I would have avoided drinking. But maybe it's not just the alcohol that puts me in that mood. Is it... Am I risking anything if I relax a little against him? Erik, we said no diplomatic instant and you've fallen for the Prince Charming thing. Really? Yeah. Well, okay. Just a little. I drop my head against Maelbjorn's shoulder, curling my ears slightly to the side so as not to bother him. I can't see the look in his eyes, but he doesn't make any movement. So I guess that's a good sign? Anyway, he remains silent. I have to admit the metal armour covering his shoulders doesn't help make him very comfortable, but what matters is to have a good time, right? Luckily for me, everyone else is either too tired or too drunk to pay attention to us. So, slowly, I lift my head to dare a glance in the direction of the bear. Does he look sad? He stares off into the horizon as a pained look on his face. I straighten up a bit and finally catch his eye. Are you okay? It's a stupid question, yet it's always the one that comes to us first in these situations. Naturally, the prince's first reaction is to try to smile at me. That facade quickly drops and he is forced to look away again. I'll be fine. He remains silent for a moment, then looks at me with his serious expression, speaking in a slightly hoarse voice. I know it's not obvious, but I had a great time, thanks. I just have a lot on my mind. You want to talk about it? We'll talk about it eventually, but not now. This is your party, so you better enjoy it. Finally, the bear manages a smile and then stands up, helping me do the same as I reach out to him. He dusts off his armour and looks around awkwardly. What, are you afraid someone saw the prince wallowing around like a drunk? Given the number of bards around, I'm mostly afraid to have 30 songs about my shitty dancing by the end of the night. Come on, we're not that mean. You wouldn't say that if you got the same treatment. Maelbjorn gives me a slightly annoyed look. The two of them must be rare for him to be able to move an ear without anyone noticing. Nothing prevents me from seeing something nice about you following these festivities. I had a great time with you after all. Well, if you can showcase my charisma and muscularity, I'd appreciate it. Forget the dancing part. I don't want to find myself having to prove to these ladies I'm a good dancer when I'm not. Does that mean he's only leaned towards the other side? Either 12, Erik. Does it really matter that much? He's a prince. It's obvious there's absolutely no way he could be interested in you. You know what, dear inner voice? Fuck off just this once. Maelbjorn's about to head for his quarters. We're interrupting by grabbing his paw. Hey, I just wanted to say it'd be nice to do this again sometime. What do you think? Well, I don't promise anything. I have a busy schedule. I'll do what I can to free up some time. I would have preferred a more positive answer, but I'll have to settle for that, I guess. A good night to you, my prince. I do my best to pronounce his title in the most honeyed way possible, which makes Maelbjorn smile a little more cheerfully. As he's walking into the building, he turns around and gives me an amused look. Good night, dwarf rabbit. And he closes the door. The bastard, he had the last word. He'll pay for this, big guy, I promise. It's getting late, and the party doesn't seem to be winding down yet. The booze is flowing, the dancers are having fun, and I've seen at least 4 couples making out in dark corners. In one instance, I'm pretty sure there were more than 2 of them. A party just the way I like it. One of the events I'm most looking forward to, however, is about to happen. All my attention is focused on the stage and the group of 4 on it. A horse, a sheep, a fox, most importantly, a weasel. Sven. I'm really curious to see what he's capable of now. After all, it's been 2 years since I've had the pleasure of hearing him sing. I doubt he's improving much though. Not that he's bad, far from it, he's probably one of my most serious competitors. I've never seen him spend hours practicing, and I doubt he's changed. After a few moments of preparation, the band starts playing and... Oh, are you fucking kidding me? The White Stoat Ballad? Seriously? He knows that's one of the best songs in my repertoire. That's why I was planning to sing tonight before I changed my mind to piss off the poodle. He's doing this to screw with me. He knows exactly what he's doing, but so be it. Go ahead, buddy, go for it. I know your voice, you already tried to learn to sing the ballad. I know you're just not capable of singing it properly. You wouldn't know how to get high enough doing the choruses. You'll just make a fool of yourself. Either you're going to adapt the song by taking it down a pitch so it's possible for you to sing and everyone here will hear it. We're all bards after all. Or you're going to break your voice. Either way, you will fuck up. As they approach the chorus, I can't help but smile more and more. The musicians are playing the music traditionally, in the usual tempo, without adapting it to Sven's voice. It's going to be a slaughter. I don't know what's gotten into you, but this is a really crappy idea. And there it is. The note goes up and Sven's voice follows it perfectly, including the vibrato at the end. No. I know Sven's voice. He can never manage to sing like that. We spent 2 years practicing every day. It's impossible. His voice is too low. There's clearly something wrong here. The song continues, but I can barely hear it. I still refuse to believe that Sven can hit that note. No, it's not a matter of believing or not. I know he's unable to hit that note. The sound ends as my gaze is fixed on the weasel. I see the group bow and salute to the applause. Sven raises his muzzle, searching the crowd until he finds me. He then smiles, triumphant and superior. And that's when I understand how he does it. He's cheating, plain and simple. The bastard has a whisperer. I stare intensely at the tomato on my plate. Its colour reminds me of Sven's clothes. It's hard to imagine his stupid face popping out of the vegetable. Stabbing my fork as brutally as possible into the poor condiment gives me a satisfaction that can hardly be explained. Erik, are you okay? I slowly turn my head in Aket's direction to offer a big smile to the bird. But even I can feel they lacks conviction. The end of the night was not the most pleasant. It clearly plays on my mood. After discovering that Sven is helped by a whisperer, my heart rate wasn't really in it anymore and I went back to my room. No way to sleep. I was too angry. I know the weasel's the most rule-abiding person, but even with him that's pushing it too far. He's passing off someone else's talent as his own. That's absolutely unacceptable. I'm okay, I guess. Just found out that one of the biggest assholes I know is using someone to discreetly alter his voice and correct it. He's probably going to use this during the contest. How can I not be okay? Don't take this personally, but you're scaring me a bit. I let out a long sigh. Trying to terrify your partner, Erik. Just that last night didn't necessarily go as planned, that's all. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Yeah, looks like someone can't hold his liquor despite having a big fucking mouth. As is often the case, my ears turn to the source of the sound first, quickly followed by the rest of my head. I recognise the rat who just spoke, sitting next to a bull. It's one of the duos that sang yesterday. It sang rather badly, by the way, if I may say so. I think the rat was a little too drunk. Excuse me? You heard me. Expected someone who comes jumping on stage to our rescue to be able to survive the next day without being completely wasted. What's the problem with this one? What the fuck is he coming at me for? I never talked to him. What, suddenly you lost your tongue? Okay, that's fine. If you're really looking for shit, you'll find shit. No, it just so happens we rabbits have sensitive ears. And when someone slaughters something as simple as the square table warriors, it tends to be painful to my hearing. I give him insistent looks, he begins to fulminate. Seriously, I don't know who you are, but you picked a bad day to mess with me, little guy. Who do you think you are? You come in here surrounded by half the court, talk to the prince like you've known him forever, and yesterday you insult the nobility in public. I don't know who you pretend to be, it's about time someone brings you back to reality. I stand up and look deep into the rat's eyes. I don't pretend. I am what I am. A bard. Being social, talking to people, that's part of the job. And putting nobility in its place too. I thought someone in the business would know that. Obviously, I was wrong. Fuck you. Oh, you're volunteering? Tempting, but I happen to have standards. We're both standing now, face to face. He's almost panting, furious. I can feel his breath stinging my snout. He still reeks of alcohol. I hate shitheads like you who think they're better than us. I don't care what you believe. Now get out of here. I'd like to eat in peace. I'm not done with you. I want to shut you up, put you in your place. Oh, really? And how do you plan to do that? So you want a duel, maybe? A good old-fashioned verbal joust? As if in your condition you have any chance. He grunts slightly and opens his mouth, presumably to accept my challenge, when the huge paw of his companion lands on his shoulder. I think you've done enough for today. He then turns to me to offer an apologetic smile. Please excuse my partner. Seems that yesterday's alcohol got the best of him. I'm speechless for a moment. I hesitate to continue to force the rat to challenge me. I really need to vent. I doubt that's a good idea, so I answer the bull while sporting a brief smile. No worries, I got carried away too. He nods at me before pulling his companion by the shoulder toward the exit of the room. The rat glares at me the whole way, and I return the favour. Once both of them are out of the room, I drop into my chair with a long sigh. Erik, what was that? Shit, I forgot that Aked was still here. Yeah, it's just that... Get a grip, Erik, you're supposed to be good with words. Sorry, it's just I'm not in the best of moods, and he pissed me off. What's doing this to you? Did something happen last night? Look, I don't want to talk about it, okay? Not right now, anyway. When my eyes land on my plate and what's left of the butcher tomato, I realize I have no appetite. I need to get some fresh air. I'll meet you in your room to rehearse for tomorrow. Is that okay? Yeah, sure, but are you sure you're going to be okay? And you can talk to me if there's a problem, right? I want to be able to help you like you helped me. I can't resist smiling. It's always so sweet. I promise everything will be alright. I'll explain later. I just need to look into it on my own. Fine. I'll see you later. Yeah. I eventually get up and walk out the door myself. I wish Aked hadn't seen this. I'm not particularly proud of the way I acted. This is all Sven's fault. I still can't believe he has the nerve to cheat. Seriously, what is wrong with him? Does he want to win that bad? Fuck, I can't focus on anything else. I know he did this to get into my head, that's why he chose my song. And I'm absolutely furious that he succeeded. I eventually get to the courtyard. Remnants of last night's party being cleaned up, and it feels to be like nothing happened here. I let a long sigh as I sit down on a bench. My head is starting to hurt. This isn't helping my situation. I wish Rago was here. He would know what to do. I lean in, taking my head between my paws. Come on, Erik, think. What would the band leader say to you if you were here? Erik is sitting on the grass, his back resting against a tree. He has his head on his knees, which he is holding tightly in his arms. He's skinny, much more so than a healthy person should be, and his clothes are fluttering about him. Every now and then a muffled sniff is heard. Faced with this sight, Rago pauses for a few moments. His eyes rest on the young rabbit, expressing nothing but sadness and pity for the little singer. Whatever the reasons that led him there, living alone on the street, without a brand, at that age, the Labrador preferred not to imagine what Erik had to do to simply survive. He finally comes forward, before sitting down on the other side of the tree, simply remaining silent. What do you want from me? Me? Oh, nothing. It's just a perfect place to take a nap. It'd be a shame not to enjoy it. Silence ensues, with no sound other than that of nature, and in the distance the din of the rest of the band. When are you going to tell me? I'll tell you what. You kicked me out of the company. You don't need me anymore. And why would I do that? Sven got his voice back. I don't need to replace him anymore. He told me that on top of that, since I can't... From what I remember, I seem to be the one leading our band, not Sven. He's right, isn't he? You don't need me here anymore. And Yana wrote me this song, I just can't I just can't sing it right. Sven got almost perfect on the first try. But Liana didn't write it for Sven. She wants you to sing it. I can't fucking do it. Do you understand that? Well, I understand that you can't do it right now. I can't do it later either. Do you always give up so easily? Because something doesn't go your way right away, you don't even try anymore? What? No, but Sven told me that since he's able to interpret the song better, it's the proof you need that I was useless to the band. And you believed him? To be honest with you, I think Sven is just jealous. You're more talented than he is, Erik, and he knows it as well as anyone else here. What you need more than anything is experience. You need to get used to singing in a group, not alone. I don't know what to do. I've been thinking about how to... Have you tried not to think about it? What? You heard me. Do something else. Go talk, go play, drink, or take a nap. Take your mind off it, and then get back to the problem you have with the song. And if you can't figure it out, ask for help. We're all here to support you now. There's a brief pause before Rago resumes. Or just avoid Sven. After another minute of silence, a brief laugh can be heard from the rabbit's side, who then comes to raise his head, settling himself well against the tree. Thank you, Rago. I think I'll try to do it your way. Great. In that case, I'll leave you to it. I need to talk to Sven. Rago stands up, scrubbing his pants to remove the grass and leaves that clung to them. Oh, one more thing. I don't keep people in my band because they are useful, Erik. I keep you in my troop because you are a good person, in addition to being talented. Rago gives Erik one last smile before leaving. The rabbit smiles back, but his face turns sad again once the Labrador turns his back, his ears slowly coming down on his shoulders. He doesn't have the courage to tell him he's wrong. He's not a good person. I take a long breath as I open my eyes again. It's been a while since I thought about my debut in Rago's band. We had this talk, a week, maybe two after we met? Ended up being able to sing Liana's song eventually. A little love song. Now that I think about it, what if she's trying to hit on me with it? I hadn't told her my preferences at the time. Anyway, the song is lovely. I'll have to try and teach it to Akhet. See if we can play it together. But in the meantime, I think I'll just follow the advice Rago gave me at the time. Let's try to keep me distracted, think about something other than this disastrous evening. And let's be honest, is there a better way to have fun than to go mess with royalty? I jump to my feet. It's time to go look for my favourite prince. Eventually I catch a glimpse of Maelbjorn in the hallway. He's standing with his arms crossed in front of two horses placed in a tapestry against the wall. It's covered with colourful shapes that represent geometric patterns. I've never seen the prince so involved in what he's doing. His eyes are half closed if he could fall asleep while standing. He even lets out a long yawn he doesn't even try to hide. I walk to him and clear my throat to rouse the bear from his torpor. It seems to work pretty well. His eyes open almost instantly and he turns to me with his usual smile. Erik, how are you? Fuck, it's upside down. He shoots a jaded look towards the tapestry and shakes his muzzle with a growl, or rubbing his eyes with a long sigh. I have to admit I don't know if there can be a good way to place this thing, since it doesn't represent anything, and this feeling is visibly shared by the two servants, who freeze to observe the tapestry with a confused look. Well, it doesn't matter. I guess we'll see it as another subversion. They're used to it by now. Is it really subversive to put a wall rug upside down? The big guy bursts out laughing and shrugs his shoulders as he takes a long look at the tapestry. Well, it's more than a wall rug. It belonged to Frostfang for a while from what I know. But anyway, it doesn't take much for the old noble families to be shocked by a change. Keep talking about them if you weren't a noble. I told you yesterday, I don't feel noble. I mean, even if I am, it's only by title. Besides, my nobility comes from arms, while theirs comes from their lineage. A smile comes to my lips, though until the servants are too busy to listen. Your adopted fathers may indeed have earned their nobility through arms, but you are like the members of those old families. You have your nobility because you are the heir. While listening to me, Maelbjorn looks away and grunts with an annoyed face. Maybe. I don't intend to become like them. I want to show that what the kings have built is only the beginning. I'm certainly not going to sit on my ass and look at a tapestry all day. He raises his voice as he says his last sentence, which seems to be as much directed at me as at the servants, who hurry to finish hanging the tapestry while fleeing as far away as possible. The bear finally takes his eyes off the decoration to look at me with a sigh. To be perfectly honest, I hate this kind of preparation. I feel like I'm wasting my time. I pause, I listen to the bear, then insist with a long stare so that he can understand he messed up. And from the blush of embarrassment that takes over his muzzle, I think he got the message. Well, this means we'd all save time by doing things simply. I know this is important to you. You made that pretty clear yesterday. You always did things the simplest way. We'd probably dwell in caves and our lives would consist of beating each other with clubs, dear prince. The beauty of our existence lies in the complexity of our actions. Ah, that's a sweet wording. But why should a prince be in charge of tapestries? I have more important problems that require... He sighs at length and rubs his eyes once more as he stops in his sentence. Obviously, he's still tired despite what he wants to show. Oh, forget what I said. Well, alright. I can't pretend to understand what you have to deal with. Doubt anyone else here would actually. You don't have to carry this whole burden by yourself. You know, the more we talk, the more you sound like a spy. The bear half sneers. I have to admit this time I don't know if it's really a joke or not. Look, Maelbjorn, I'm not asking you to give me vital information. I'm just saying you can relax. You're entitled to it, just like everyone else. Wasn't yesterday fun? Yeah, it was fun, but it's not my daily routine, and it never will be. My mission is to make sure that all of you can live like this without worrying about anything else. I cross my arms and question Maelbjorn with a look. I wish I had even a small window into his mind to see all he goes through daily. To my surprise, it looks like the bear wants to say more. He takes a long sigh and continues. My point is that Frostfang is a haven for all. We pride ourselves on being able to accommodate everyone. But the truth is, all that keeps us together is the prospect of some evil lurking outside. It's not why we prefer to live in groups. It's not something we get from our animal oranges. Some anthracans would be loners otherwise. The prince nods his head with a pensive look. He's obviously not totally satisfied with this answer. There's a bit of that. For our kingdom gathers all the outcasts. What the empires around us consider rejects. It is our symbol. We have to embrace the unknown. But as I said, we work with each other only because we need it, rather than because we want to. Our neighbours are the common enemy. If they had the chance, they'd invade us as they've tried to do in the past. Whether it's Khazal or Mekhad, they're just waiting for a moment of weakness to bring us down. If that happens, it's guaranteed servitude for the majority of us. So, if I understand correctly, on the one hand you need them to keep the kingdom together. But on the other hand, they're a constant danger to us and an actual invasion could happen. Yeah, that sounds like a complicated problem to solve. And that's just one of my many problems. But the people can't understand that. Not totally. Hey, I just understood. Well, everyone can understand the situation. What people don't usually understand are the solutions to said situation. You can always try to explain that to me too. The prince's cavernous laugh echoes down the hallway as he shakes his head, watching with a half-amused, half-painful expression. I can't. Not without revealing too much, anyway. Maybe one day, if we cooperate. You'd almost tempt me to offer my services as a spy. I'm rather busy being a bard at the moment. I know we're notorious for loving gossip, but after the last few days, I'm not feeling too adventurous. Well, in that case, focus on the competition and win. That's all I can encourage you to do. And that's what I plan to do, without any help. I give the prince a knowing look, just to make sure I'm understood. I know. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd love to keep having this kind of conversation with you, but I have work to do. Why don't you go do what you usually do? Oh yeah, I'll go back to my commoner duties like surviving and all that. Until next time, Your Majesty. With a big smile I bow to Maelbjorn, I can hear grumbling. I'll never get tired of that. The rehearsal with Akka went as well as expected. There's only one thing now could really keep us from winning. Sven. If he cheats during the competition, he'll probably have the win in the palm of his hand. I have to make sure that doesn't happen. My concern is I just can't run to Maelbjorn and tell him I think the weasel is cheating. Without proof, he'll just dismiss me. And that's not exactly something I can easily prove. But I have to find something to convince him. I can't just let Sven get away with it. There has to be some way to prove I'm not lying. I know what I'm saying, and I know the weasel. Come on, Erik. There's got to be something you can do. Some way to force him to confess or something. This morning's argument is coming back to my mind. I was going to a verbal joust with the rat. I wonder if that might be the solution I'm looking for. Sven is arrogant and will never refuse to confront me. If I demand he tell the truth as the reward for my victory, even he will not dare to lie. Especially I request that Maelbjorn witness the confrontation. Prince. Where the fuck is the prince? He's moving all over the castle with the preparations going on. It's impossible to find him in the same place twice, and I need him right now. So I start running up and down the corridors. Don't think anyone has seen a white rabbit in such a hurry in their life. No time to say hello, goodbye, I'm late. And finally there he is, chatting with Gilliant. The latter quickly spots me, nods in my direction so the bear can see me too. I have a request, my prince. Maelbjorn crosses his arms and looks at me insistently. He too has no time for trivialities, obviously. Be concise. Sven, the weasel. I know him. He doesn't normally sing this well. I think someone is helping him, and the more I talk, the faster I speed up as I see the bear's imperious look. So much that I get lost in my words and ideas. Finally grabs me by the shoulders and speaks in a calm but authoritative voice. Breathe. I'll give you 10 seconds to convince me. I nod briskly before taking a deep breath. Get your thoughts together, Erik, and quickly. I think one of the contestants, Sven, is cheating, and I'd like to help you prove it. Oh, well, if that's true, I can't let that go. You obviously already have a plan, so let's hear it. I'm going to challenge him to a verbal joust. I need you as a witness. A verbal joust? It's a sort of rhyme and insult contest. Something very old among the bards. Don't ask me about it because I don't exactly have the details on the subject. Despite my apparent stress, I managed to wring a chuckle out of the bear, who shakes his head. I must say, I'd like to know more on another occasion. Gillian, go get this Sven and meet us in the courtyard. His band has to be there too. I think someone is helping him change his voice with the brand when singing. It won't be someone who's constantly following him. Oh, and it would be nice to have Aked come as well. He might be able to help us detect the Whisperer. Alright, both the band and the falcon then. The panther quickly bows before bolting towards the bard's quarter without further question. The bear, meanwhile, beckons me to follow him with a rather severe look on his face. Thank you for trusting me. Well, don't be too hasty. I don't have time to listen to your plan in details. You better make it work. This accusation ought to be taken lightly. I hope you understand that. I know what I'm risking. I have no doubt he's cheated. Hard part is proving it. I'm going to play on his pride. We have a common past, he and I. He's just dying to crush me in front of the prince himself. So I'll give him that opportunity. Oh, so I'm the bait? The grizzly suddenly gives me an amused look while I can only give an embarrassed smile with my ears lowered. Fortunately, we soon enter the courtyard, clear to the tables of my little party the night before. This is perfect. Many eyes will be on us from the many windows that surround us. No matter what happens, someone will be humiliated during the next few minutes. And I plan to make sure it's not me. What will happen with this verbal joust? Find out next time in NeveN. If you've ever wondered what a non-musician trying to improvise a song with set lyrics sounds like, you heard it earlier. I know, yes. This is why I'm not a singer. And also I appreciate that line about Sven's voice. I could not hit certain notes if I'm, to use the word loosely, singing. You've heard my female voices in here. Very difficult to do. But hope you enjoyed it anyway, in spite of that little interlude. And coming up in this week, we'll be having After Years, as I say, and we have a special one-off VN on next weekend, probably Saturday. It's part of the May Wolf Jam, and we are going to be doing Labour of Love. So that'll be a new one-off VN, which I hope you'll enjoy. And we'll be returning to NeveN, hopefully late August, early September. I have not figured out my schedule's that far ahead yet. But if you want to know what might be happening, I sometimes do post them on Patreon when I think about it. And the link is in the description. What a segue. As always, I make a quick mention to my top Patrons, and they are Andy Peng, Samuto, Omar, Big Booty Judy, Nova Starburn, Volpers Need Coffee, Mohammed Al-Zamel, Aaron Fox, Exact, Evan King, Marcus, Sindri Dragonwolf, Kopi, Spiderling, Riz, Dissonance, Nubis Silverwind, Ida Corval, Tiger Cub, Bastion, Lark Huskerton, Legacy Butcherati, Copas Vissa, Kartek, and Burnt Toast. Also thanks to those few people who donate on Ko-fi, I do appreciate that. So yes, that is it for now, until sometime this week. Thanks for watching and bye for now.